Hi, I'm comedian Bill Engvall, and you're watching Las Vegas Backstage Talk with my friend Michele LaFong. Is that name made up, Michele LaFong?
Yes, it
LaFong?
is. LaFong, yes.
Which is Spanish for the Fong. Anyway, watch your show.
It's not true.
It's not the worst, but it's not the best.
And we are backstage at Treasure Island, where Bill Engvall has the best shows on Fridays. Am I correct?
That's right. Every Friday, and the best backstage catering.
Boy, did I miss you from last time, Bill.
Well, last time we wasn't all this big time TV stuff.
You know, things. Once I have you on the show,
yeah, that was it. Yeah, that put it right over the top, didn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
Right over the top. So basically, you've managed to stay married 30 years and be a comic on the road. Explain yourself, Bill.
Well, let me go back. She's managed to stay married to me for I don't know how. It's taken its toll. It's early on in the club days when you're gone for 7 days at a whack, maybe 2-3 weeks at a time. But it takes a real special person to handle this lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And Gail's always been great about that. She never once we've been married 30 years, but I've been doing this I think 32 years now. She's never once said, "Why are you going to be gone?" Or
Maybe she likes it when you're gone.
Well, listen, I'm the perfect husband. I go away, I come home, I drop off a check, and then I leave. It's like.
You know what? There's something to be said.
Yeah,
for that.
there is.
I mean, it is working for
I actually think the road is probably what's kept us together, just because
I do too.
We get our time apart from each other.
And then you look forward.
And I look forward to coming home, and
Yes.
she looks forward to me coming home most of the time.
Well, it's rare where comics manage to stay in a relationship period no less 30 years.
Well, I think what happens a lot to a lot of comics is kind of what happens on movie sets and stuff is that, in fact, when Nancy Travis and I were doing my show together, we used to joke that we had the perfect marriage. You didn't have to deal with kids, you didn't have to deal with bills or any stuff like that. And then you go home, then everybody goes, "Well, this is awesome, we're in love, let's get married." Well, then they leave the movie set and it's real life again. All of a sudden they go, "Oh, wait a minute, oh, wait." So, I've always, I think that's what happens to a lot of comics too, is that, you get on the road and there's women that, just because you're on stage, you're not anybody special, but you're on stage, and we had a name for them, which I can't say on TV, but but they say the right things and all that.
So true. It's so true what you're saying, because I'd go in the ladies' room in the comedy clubs, and the things I would hear about who and the other comics that were on the show, I knew everybody's business.
Oh yeah. They go into a bar because guys get this thing in their head that my wife would never do that. They'll do it.
See, that's what I was going to ask you. You keep talking about her trusting you. What about you trusting her?
I trust her implicitly. But
you do think like that.
Well, it's. Listen, I'm not.
You have to.
You have to because.
I agree with you.
I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, there's. When I put that ring on, I had more shots with women than I ever had when I was single.
All right, my husband's ring is coming off.
But it's also, and there's been some funny. I remember one incident that I was when we were doing Blue Collar. And our meet and greets were like 75, 80 people. So we would do pictures and stuff like that. And this good-looking gal, Wrangler jeans, cowboy hat, just everything I like in a woman, and was endowed well enough her daddy would be proud. Snuggled up to me, and I was getting my picture taken, and she kind of whispered, "What are you doing later?"
Really?
Or no, let me tell you the way it started. The way it started was, I just think it's great how you talk about how much you love your wife and that you're so in love with her. And I said, "Well, thanks." She goes, "You want to go get breakfast later?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm going."
Breakfast?
It was it was 9 o'clock at night. And so I said, "No." I said, I'm going to have to pass on that. And she goes, "Well, you're missing out." And I said, "You won't be the first."
Wow, that's great.
And but it's.
You wish you had it on videotape so you could show her and say.
Well, it's funny. What's funny is that when I would get hit on when I was on the road, I would tell Gail, I go, "Oh, this girl." And so if it goes a long time and I don't tell her that I've been hit on, she goes, "What's up? You've been hit on lately?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Why don't you tell me?" I go, "Really want to hear it?" I was like, it's almost like if I tell her what happened, then she feels better about it.
Exactly.
Sometimes I even lie to her. Because I haven't been hit on in a long time. I think once the gray set in.
I mean, but you really do have a long resume. You've been around a while.
You know, it's funny in this business, as you well know, you get kind of caught up in what you haven't done. And every once in a while, when I talk to you or another person, and I'm sitting in my office, and they start listing the things you've done, and you kind of go, wow. You know, and I realize I've achieved every goal that I set for myself. In fact, it's kind of a weird situation right now because a guy asked me one time, he goes, well, what's next? And I thought, I don't know. You know, you know, you can kind of, like I'd love to do a full-length movie as I'm the lead.
Dramatic.
Yeah, dramatic. Love to have a dramatic series, which, knock on wood, might happen. But, you know, I got to tell you, Michelle, if it all ended right now, I could walk away and go, I did everything I wanted to do.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that. I can't.
You will.
So let me ask you a question.
You're still young and.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I'm young. Everything is relative.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, if you look back at your career, you mean to tell me, knowing now what you know, there would be nothing you would have done differently?
Oh, yeah. What I would have done differently is I would have taken this business more serious at a younger age.
More serious?
Because here's the thing: when I started in stand-up, it was just a cool hobby. I never ever thought this would be what I'd be doing. I thought, yeah, I'll do this for a couple years, and then I'll probably move into something else. But it just kept growing, and then we moved to L.A., and I remember telling Gail, I said, we're going to give it 10 years. And if in 10 years it hasn't happened, then we're going to go home to Texas, and
And what would you do?
I don't know, teach school or gone back and got my degree or something, or more than likely
You know what teachers make?
Yeah, I know. Thank God it worked out.
Yeah, really.
But things kept happening, and it was funny. Every time I threatened to move, I'd get something. You know, I got
interesting.
I'll tell you. So
I find that to be true.
We were blue collar hadn't happened yet, and I had kind of maxed out in the clubs, and I was getting some guest star stuff here and there, but nothing really. And I told Guy, I go, you know what? I think it may be time. And so we started looking at houses in Dallas, and a week later, I got a call to do the Foxworthy show when he was on ABC, and that led to something else, and then finally it led to my own show, which we ran for 3 years, and it was probably would have been in syndication, and I don't know that we'd be sitting here right now because I would have been done, but literally the week that we were going to announce that Turner was going to announce the syndication deal with me, the economy just dumped. And unfortunately, the biggest advertisers in syndicated TV are car dealerships.
Of course.
And so when they took a bath, you know, it was like, so it just kind of floated off into the. But now I'm back, and I did a 3-shot thing on Hawthorne when it was on Turner on TNT, and the guy that was the EP on it really liked what I did, and so when that show ended, he had a development deal, and he called my agent and said, I got a development deal, I want to do it with Bill. And so now we're currently writing this show that's kind of I don't know if you call it a dramedy, but it's kind of loosely based on the old McCloud series.
Oh,
It'll be a Texas Ranger that is on a kind of a cop swap program, and he goes to New York. And I read the first draft of it, and it really was good, and so we got our notes from Turner. Now he's out writing it, finished in the final draft. So hopefully, knock on wood, it'll get picked up. And
it sounds very believable. I could see you as that.
Oh, I would love it. You know, because excuse me, what they said they wanted to do was they wanted what they call a procedural drama with a quirky lead. So it's like he'll be this guy who does things his own way, but his results are better than everybody else.
Sounds like Andy Griffith in the new world.
Might be, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. which wouldn't be a
I
bad
could
thing.
see you kind of in that role.
I loved it. Listen, when I played the cop on Hawthorne, I just loved it. And then I got to play
The power of the cop.
and the other thing, I got to play a bad guy on Leverage, which was just really fun.
That's an interesting change.
Sarah, you get a chance. I think you can watch it online. It's called The Boost Job, and I play a small.
Boost Job?
Yeah, I play a small-time car racer who is putting mom and pop car dealerships out of business because I'm selling hot cars at prices they can't do it. And so the Leverage team comes in to bust up my ring, and I got to wave guns around and
What fun!
boss people around and scream at people, and it was. And plus, I got to pull a gun on Timothy, which was awesome.
So, how do you draw the bad guy? What do you use in your life to draw that out?
Well, there's a part of me that a lot of people don't know.
Bill Engvall as the bad guy.
In fact, this term got coined on my show. We call him Dark Billy. And you don't want Dark Billy to come out.
You don't want Bart, no.
Because I try to be the nicest guy, but when that line gets crossed, there's no gray area. It goes black. And,
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
So we were shooting an episode on my show where it was a flashback show on how Nancy and I met. And she was a nurse, and I had busted my ribs. Busted up my ribs, which I told her I was a wrestler and just making stuff up. And actually, in actuality, the way I busted it was I was dancing to a Wham song and fell over on the coffee table. But so anyway, so the Dark Billy part came in is that one day we were in rehearsals and we were in a production meeting, and the costumer said, "Well, she's a nurse, so I'm thinking like a short skirt and shoulder pads." And I said, "What hospital are you going to?" Because nurses wear pants and a smock.
A smock?
And she goes, "Well, I just think it'd be better." I go, No, there's not going to be any shoulder pads and no short dresses. This was not a porn film. Well, so I thought the issue was done. So we were in rehearsal, and it was a rough week because there was a lot of things going on. And I was talking to Nancy, and she kept looking at her watch. And I said, "What's up?" And she goes, "I got a costume fitting I got to go to." I said, "Oh, what, just for the nurses?" She goes, "Yeah, they got like some shoulder pads and skirts," and
that's so funny.
the line was crossed, and
wow.
There was a incredible amount of swear words, and that this show is going to be shocked. Oh, they were totally shocked.
I would be shocked.
And
come on, try it out a little bit. Yeah. The FCC, they don't care.
They don't know. I can't do that.
They get a big kick out of it, actually.
But it's one of those things that you just go, it's like, because my theory on life, my outlook on life is, I'm not asking you to do anything out of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. But when you're a comedian, a lot of times people don't take you seriously. And my show
was just me.
No.
That's funny. Yeah.
I said this on an interview once before, and people were kind of blown away by it. That for the first 4 years of Blue Collar, I did. You
said it on my show.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. Yeah,
and I wrote about it in Gaming Today.
Yeah,
it's coming out next week.
Just because Jeff was the only bar I ever had to compare myself to, at that level, and so when I was so, as I said before, I was so busy trying to be Jeff that I forgot to be me. And
that's a great story.
Yeah, and so and now Jeff and I are like we're even closer than we were. We talk. Text. Unfortunately, locale doesn't allow us to be on a daily basis. He's in Atlanta, I'm in LA, and
mm-hmm.
But he's just for all the little spats that we had, he's just a great guy. He's like a he's like a brother.
So whose fault were the spats? Tell the truth.
Both of us. Both of us.
It was a fair thing. To say.
It was like
it's kind of
sometimes
boring, I'd like a
Mm-hmm.
more honest answer, because at the time,
mm-hmm.
you had to have felt you're a fair guy.
Oh yeah. Well, what happens is you get somebody has an idea, and they believe in it 100%. But I may go, well, that's not right. We don't need to do that. And then you have those, and vice versa. Like I would have an idea for something, and he go, nah, and I go, well, who made you king of comedy?
Exactly.
And vice versa. It's a lot like brothers, I always joked about that I would actually love to be at my level in the '60s in Vegas, because I love old Vegas. You know, when the mob ran it, yeah, it was like.
Doesn't?
But that we did have our Vegas kind of moment. There was one show that we did. It's me, Jeff, and Larry, and we did the show, and we were in 3 different limousines just because and we drove out to the airport, and there's 3 private jets, and we each walked onto a private. And before we got on I looked at Jeff and I said, "Look at that." I said, "This is as close to being a rock star as we're ever going to get."
Yeah.
And he got on the plane. He went that way, I went this way, and Larry went that way.
That's great.
When I was an MC at the Comedy Corner in Dallas, my job was to pick the comics up at the airport, MC the show of the week, and then drop them back off at the airport. Well, one week we had Paul Mooney and Brad Garrett. And Paul Mooney was...
Together?
Yeah, great show.
Yeah.
Great show. Well, Paul Mooney, the sweetest, nicest guy on the planet, but when you just meet him, he's pretty gruff.
Yes.
And
edgy.
Yeah, and can just intimidate anybody.
Yes.
So I'm
Not
on
just 'cause
stage.
you're white.
No. It's just Paul. He's like, "Oh, brother, let me tell you something." And so I'm interviewing. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, our headliner tonight just is got a list of credits. He's wrote on Blazing Saddles. He's Richard Pryor's had and I was just enamored of it. I go, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome," and I'm looking right at him, and I can't remember his name. And he's staring at me. He goes, "Say it, brother. Just say the name. Say the name." I'm like, "I don't remember your name."
See, that's the best thing you could do is be honest about
and he
it,
always called me his little Troy Donahue. "Oh, Bill, you're my little Troy Donahue, my little white Troy Donahue."
And that's how I became a woman.
I can't top that. I just, I wish I had, and that's how I became a woman, but I didn't. And Bill Engvall, thank you so much.
It's
and
so nice
we're
to
going to
be here.
have you back next time you're backstage, yes?
Probably not. This is a one-shot deal.
Okay, cool.
No, of course I'll be back on your show.
Thank you, Bill. And thanks again. Until next week, Las Vegas Backstage Talk. I'm Michele LaFong. This was Bill Engvall. Wasn't it fabulous? Oh, come on.
It was fabulous.
It was fabulous.
Fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you
Fabulous.
very much. Okay.